Hello and welcome to BeamNG Drive. I'm davidinark, and today we're going to do something a little different. This is kind of not something that I don't know, normally would even think about, to be honest with you, but I was playing around with different camera angles, and one of the cameras is called Relative, which basically lets you set the camera wherever you want, and it's a free-floating camera. So as I was playing with it, I thought, man, it might be fun to do kind of a study in BeamNG suspension. Why? I don't know. Welcome to the things that rattle around inside my brain. So we are just in the regular D-Series pickup truck here, and I just wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to see underneath the hood, except we're actually, you know, like underneath the chassis. I don't know what the term is for that. Look at that, though. Look, oh, not only is the suspension reacting to the environment, but it's everything that goes in with the suspension itself. I mean, check out the hydraulic shocks. As we hit bumps, they're actually compressing and decompressing as we're driving down the road. Oh, and of course this has a single suspension that I have no idea. I don't know the terminology. I just play the game. I don't know anything about cars or mechanics. What I do know, though, is that this is a solid suspension, I think is what it's called. Anyway, what I'm saying is there's a solid rod that controls the suspension in the back. Everything moves as one piece, and you can see that as we run over these bumps, especially when you compare that to the front suspension, which is more like a, I don't know the official terminology, but I'm going to call it a butterfly suspension because it looks like a butterfly. I don't know. There you go. Anyway, whoops. Ouch. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is I have no idea what I hit. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just driving around. Let's take a look at the front suspension, shall we? Now that we have a tire pinned up underneath the truck. Come around here. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is, I believe, what they call in the industry broken. That's what that is. But by the same token, check that out. Yeah, we're not really going anywhere. I don't know, man. This game, though, is just so freaking cool. All right, so that was a D-Series. Let's see what else we've got here. I mean, of course, we got a whole slew of things to choose from, but I want to play around with some things that kind of, I don't know, that kind of stand out. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's jump into the pre-runner D-Series, because this one's going to be jacked up. It's going to have all kinds of fun stuff going on here. Let me get the relative cam. Oops, hi. How you doing? Let's move this back around here. I'll tell you, the relative cam is also a very cool just camera in general for like screenshots and stuff. I mean, I know there's a built-in camera utility, but seriously, the relative cam does a pretty good job in itself. Whoops. As we get going, the suspension sat down, and so did we. Look at this, though. I'm just kind of driving. Now, I'm going to give you fair warning. I am not good at driving the pre-runner at all. As I was saying, I have a hard time controlling this thing. I don't like that angle, though. That's a little much. There we go. All right, let's try this. There. Oh, again, like we were talking about before, check out the hydraulics and the springs. Stretching out, compressing, decompressing. It's just the attention to detail and the pieces and parts that go into making the vehicles behave the way they do and interact the way they do with the environment. I mean, this is not a BeamNG commercial, but dadgum, it's a BeamNG commercial. I mean, come on. How do you not enjoy this if you like racing games, if you like driving simulations? If you don't already have BeamNG, man, you are missing out. It's a lot of people focus on crashing things, and I am one of those lot of people. But it's so much more than just crashing stuff. Look at, I mean, just even look at. I have no idea what some of these pieces and parts are, but there's like wires and cables and just all these different pieces and parts that flex and bend and move, just like it would, I'm assuming, in real life. Okay, I went off the map. Well, this should be a fun look at suspension. Hi kids, this is what happens when you fall off the earth. Well, there you go. All the flat earthers out there. BeamNG confirms your theory. So you can hang your entire flat earth theory on a video game. In fact, you could probably do that on most video games. I mean, let's just be honest. Most video games are a small portion of the planet we call Earth, or some facsimile thereof, and most of them are closed off because they don't want you to know that you can fall off the map. So there you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Take it to the bank. Bank all your Dogecoins on it. I don't know. Something. What am I even talking about? We're talking about suspension is what we're talking about. So you start getting me distracted and whatnot. Oh, but I love the way the suspension is tilting left and right, you know, depending on what's happening to the back end of the vehicle. And you can see those shocks and the springs reacting independently of each other, right? So we've got spring-wrapped shocks, and then we've got some other hydraulic shock type things. Again, I don't know the terminology, man. But they are, so essentially we have two on each side, and they are all working independently together. How about that? Then we'll sum that up that way, to keep the vehicle on the road where it's going. I don't want to say on the road. I'm driving. On the road has nothing to do with the suspension. But it's just so cool to watch. Look at that. We've got some leanage. Oh, and we hit a rock because, again, not really paying attention where I'm going. I'm too busy talking about and looking at the suspension. Oh, see, look at that. Isn't that a cool camera angle? I love it. All right, anyway. Let's come around here. Look at that. Absolutely busted suspension. I'm not even sure what... Whoa, hi. How you doing? 3D. Coming at you. I didn't do that. It did it. But now I'm doing this. Grab the node grabber. Come on. Just break free. Give me... Just... Here, wait. Let me crank up the strength. Come on. This is very hard to do in this camera angle. In fact, I'm not sure I did anything. I mean, I did stuff, but I don't know what I did. Oh, our engine died. Oh, man. But look at that. I can sort of kind of coast. I'm presuming that we're going down some hill somewhere. Oh, but just look at that. Even the tiniest little turns, the tiniest little bumps, everything puts all of these little pieces and parts in motion. Look at that. Even resetting the vehicle as it settles, you see that compression, decompression, recompression. This is just so cool, man. Let's see. How about... I want to do a regular, like, family car. Let's do the 90s. Is that what this is? This is like the 90s Pessima, right? Oh, that's relative? Okay, relative automatically puts me in the driver's seat. Who knew? Probably knows something I don't. All right, this is a little cramped and, frankly, a little dark under here. I don't know. Maybe if I remember, I'll fix this in post, and I'll brighten that up just a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So again, watching the wheels, whoops, kind of do their thing. Now, I don't know what the suspension is in a 90s era Pessima. looking, trying to judge. I think it's actually a solid. Is it solid? Oh no! Each one is on a separate little butterfly fly thing. That's look that up in your in your service manual. I'm sure that's exactly what it's called. Look at that! Oh, that is so cool. Once again, you have these individual pieces of suspension, these suspension system parts, all reacting and interacting with the environment as the wheels bounce up and down, the suspension keeping everything together. And what's also interesting to note here is that if you look at the car above, right, so I know we're looking at the undercarriage, but as you watch the wheels and the suspension completely reacting to the environment, notice we're not getting a lot of shaking and movement up above us. So theoretically, I think what that's demonstrating is how the suspension gives you, a smoother ride, even as we are flying full speed down the bumpy road. Which, by the way, I'll have a link to this mod down in the description below. This is Crash Hard's long desert road or something like that. The long bumpy road. I don't know. I know it has something to do with the desert. That's for sure. But oh, just look at that. All the different. Oh, I don't know what we hit. Oh, that's not good. We hit something really bad right there. Ouch. Oh, let's go out here and take a look. Oh, but right through there. Oh yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Ouch. But as a soft body crash physics game, you got to admit, BeamNG does it right when it comes to tearing a vehicle to shreds. Look at that. Even busting the suspension. Do you see pieces and parts are actually broken? It's not just like they become disconnected. The parts are broken because of, well, my bad driving, but because of the way the engine, the software engine works and treats the different pieces and parts and components, and it is so cool to get a close-up view of some of the things that honestly I just ignore most of the time. I mean, frankly I think most of us just ignore them most of the time. How about the hopper crawler? We're going to go in with a crawler because it's set up nice and high. It's got it's going to have a great, once again, relative camera right in the driver's seat. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Again, as we see, the ground is rocking and rolling and moving. Well, the ground's not really moving, but it's lending itself to the suspension having movement as we drive along here. And what's interesting about this to me is that even though it's a solid suspension in the front and the back for that matter, as we see, as we're cruising across here, look at that, the way the hydraulics are set up, every wheel is still pretty much allowed to do what it needs to do. I love that. Look at that. Even the drive shaft turning, just all those little pieces and parts that come together. The tow hooks in the front swaying just ever so gently as we bound our way across the road here, hitting these bumps, really just kind of focusing on suspension as I didn't mean to hit a rock, but I was trying to just throw the suspension around a little bit. But look at this. Look at that. Busted. Popped right off there, man, actually. Oh, and here we go. Got the wheel on the ground. Drive shaft is still spinning. Things are not pretty. And look what we got here. We got the steering hydraulics in the front, with the various linkages and what have you. So I'll tell you what, let's do that. Now, you're going to have to forgive my driving because I'm now driving backwards as we are looking at the front end of the vehicle. Oh, and look at that. As we turn, the hydraulic system moving back and forth. You can see the movement of those linkages in there. Oh, that is so cool. At this angle, okay, just go with me on this, all right? At this angle, because I've kind of, I've kind of cut off the top there. This vehicle looks like it is just so meh. Like, yeah, this is what I do. Great, thanks. It looks like it's got its eyelids half closed. I don't know if those are like the nose rings hanging out or something. I don't know. Forgive me. It's been a long week. Oh my gosh, we ended up with like 22 inches of snow at my house, and I'm in Lower Arkansas, and in this area we barely get any snow. Certainly never 22 inches. So I'm a little stir crazy. Oh, but look at that. Oh, I love when when you hit bumps head on and the whole suspension moves up and down. I mean, that's kind of cool. But when you see it rocking back and forth, look at that. And just watching the motion of all of those different hydraulics and pieces of suspension. Up, we are flipped upside down. Whoa, okay. Over we go. That's weird to do from under the front of the truck. Wow, that's interesting. Just look at that, though, as we turn. And frankly, the coloring, I know this is going to sound goofy, but the coloring of it, I mean, that looks like chrome in the sunshine as we're moving our steering, left and right, and, well, I've wrecked us very well. Okay, there we go. Get us reset here. Oh, man. So cool. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap things up with, how about the Pigeon? Let's take a look at how the suspension works in a Pigeon. Why? Because most people aren't going to think about that. They're going to be thinking about the pre-runners, the hopped-up roamers. What about the tiny little Pigeon? I have no idea. Oh, look at that. There we go. Man, I tell you what, that's got some decent... oops. Oh, yeah, man. Whoop. Range of motion is what I was going to say. Decent range of motion. Sorry, I'm a little distracted by just how cool, whoops, it is to watch. Whoa, the Pigeon, look at that. Pigeon does a flip, ends up upright, and then oh, well, okay, we're upright anyway. I'll be honest, I think I drive better not looking where I'm going than when I play the game regular. So far, I think I've managed to roll over and right almost every vehicle we've done. No, the Pessima didn't fare so well. But anyway, what am I doing? I can't really talk. At this angle, I'll be honest, it's hard for me to tell what is uphill, what is downhill. Am I going sideways? Who knows? Look at that. Again, we've got the hydraulics with the shocks with the springs. As we see the spring compressing, decompressing, the wheel moving up and down inside of its wheel compartment. I don't know if you still call it that on a Pigeon? I mean, like the whole front end is a wheel compartment. But look at that. And look at the linkage as we steer and we turn. Oh, that is so cool. And then, of course, there's other things as well. And you may have noticed this on some of the other vehicles. But things like, the more gas we give it and the more the fan is spinning, those types of things. But this is just so much fun to watch. At least I think so anyway. And I don't know if you've enjoyed this or not. But I thought it might be fun to take a look at BeamNG from, well, honestly and frankly and quite literally, a slightly different angle. So there you go. Our little friend the pigeon. Going uphill here. Let me get back to that relative cam. Oh, that is just so cool. So much fun. That's awesome. Hey, if you'd like to see other vehicles and we do a suspension study on them, let me know down in the comments. Or if there's some other particular angle that you'd like to see BeamNG vehicles from rather than kind of the traditional ones that we're used to, let me know that as well. Got any other questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to leave those down in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, man. We are, right now as this video is coming out, we're so close to 9,000 or 8,000 subs. Where am I? 8,000. Yes. Don't get ahead of yourself, Dave. But anyhow, thank you so much. Special thanks to GamerGull, Hero of God, and LosWilko for supporting me on Patreon. I do want to give a special shout out to the other Patreon supporters who are supporting me with the $1 a month club. That is, I know you don't necessarily get your name mentioned for that, but it means a whole lot. Anything that you are willing to and able to give to help support the channel, I truly, truly appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Awesome stuff, man. Hey, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time on BeamNG Drive. Have a great day. Stay warm.